This video is going to explain the step-by-step process to create an eCard campaign. You need to be logged in to create a campaign because the system will save it at step 3 when you send a test. So you need to either register first or log in. I'll quickly just log in using my account. So we're logged in and we go to the My Campaigns page by default. So let's select an eCard. Let's use this one here. So you'll see there's all these tabs here, orange tabs to explain what each part of this page does. Well worth reading it to ensure that you understand and create your eCard correctly. So let's just play the eCard through. Now, when the eCard gets to the final screen, the greeting screen, you'll see all of the changes I'm about to make will be made in real time. So let's select a logo to upload. So I'll select that. You can see my logo is now uploaded. It's a bit large. Here you can crop the logo. So this is all the logo tools. You can see it crops it. I'll leave it like that, but what I'll do is I'll make it a bit smaller. So you can see here I can resize the logo larger and smaller. So I'll resize it about that large. Here you can position your logo. You can position it anywhere in the eCard that you like. I will leave it right there at the top. Okay, so that's cropping, resizing the logo and positioning. Very important for your logo. If you have any trouble with your logo and you need it formatted, or you want to try and remove a white background or something from it, you can contact support. So support at eCards2go.com. and just send your logo through and ask for us to edit it for you. We can do that free of charge. If you want to remove the background, you'll need to provide a vector version of your logo, so an EPS or AI, so that we can remove the background from it. So moving on, we're going to write our message here. So with the message, you can use a dynamic name tag. So you can see %%, lowercase name, %%. So if I go hi, name, like that, happy holidays from the eCards2go team, thanks for all your support throughout the year. Okay, so with the name tag, you'll want to leave it as that. Don't go and put an actual name in there, because then everybody will receive whatever you type in there. If you leave it as %%, lowercase name, %%, that will be dynamically changed with the recipient's name. So you can see up here, here's my eCard. I'm going to change the font size and the color, but just with the message, try not to make the message go any lower than about an inch from the bottom of the eCard, because different devices view fonts and font sizes slightly differently, and if you have it too close to the edge of your eCard, it might get cut off on some devices. So just keep it about an inch from the bottom and you'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to make the font size a bit larger. Let's make it here. We can make it, you can see it's getting larger, and I can make it smaller like this. I think 26 is probably the ideal size. Line height, you can make the line height smaller. Again, you can watch it in real time, or just have to scroll back up and have a look at it. Okay, so I'll make the line height a bit larger than that. I think that's about the right size. And here you can align the text to center, left align, right align, and center. Here you can change the color, so choose a color from the rainbow or choose a green, but remember you need to actually select a color from the square color picker here, because at the moment it's still sitting on black. Let's see, but if I select, say, a green color in there, it changes to green. So I can select any color in there. Red, you can change it to a bright red, blue, So let's change it to a green color, say about that. That's fine for the purposes of this demo. With the font family, you can select different fonts and you'll see it automatically changes in real time. So that's for this example, we'll choose Roboto. And you want to put in your web address, so eCards2go.com. You can use anything for this. You could link to a landing page, you could link to a coupon redemption page or a prize or anything that you like. It's always a good thing to at least link to your website. If you leave it blank or leave it as the eCard, as the original default address, there will be no link added to your eCard. Now the link is placed on both the logo and the text. So we can choose different music. If we select a different tune here, you'll see the eCard will play again. So say I select My Time. Let's go up here, the eCard's going to play again. So that each different tune you select will replay the eCard. So if I choose A Wonderful Way, I'll choose that and I'll put the sound back on. Start it again. So the eCard starts again. So I'll keep that. And then to go to the next step, make sure you go to the Continue to Next Step button at the bottom. This step you'll need to create your email. There's a few fields here. It's worth spending a few seconds to put valid data in these fields, because if you rush this step and put in junk data, you might forget to come back and change it to correct data later. So just put in your data, eCards2go.com, my sender email, sender name, eCards2go, put in a subject. The hi name, so there is a dynamic name merge tag here by default. You can see it says hi recipient name in the email salutation. If you change this and hard code it to hi Jenny, for example, all of your recipients will receive hi Jenny in the email salutation field, so you definitely don't want that. So just leave it as the dynamic default merge tag of bracket name bracket. You can have no salutation if preferred. I'll leave it as that. Then type your email message. Happy. You can choose a font family. You just choose from any of these. You can make the font bold, italic, increase the font size, decrease the font size. Now lastly, you need to select all the colors for your email template. The first one is the header color. This is the color behind the logo. So for instance, if you had uploaded an all white logo on a transparent background, for example, you wouldn't be able to see that now on a white background. So you can change that. Select a color from the rainbow wheel, and then you need to select a color in the square color picker too. So you can see that will change the color behind the logo. The next one is the text color. Again, just select a color from the rainbow wheel and then select a color from the square there. Next one is the background color behind the text. Again, select a color and also select it in the square. And finally, the card background color, the color behind the card. So select that, and then you can do the same there and select a color. And that's it for this step. Now here's the third step. This step sends you a test eCard. Once you've completed this step, then your eCard is saved in the My Campaigns section of your account. You can, after this step, abandon it and continue editing in My Campaigns, or you can continue going through the process. It's a good idea to finish going through the process. That way you can add credits to the same invoice, etc. Upload your email list if you like. So I'll just send a test. So recipient email, let's just send it to myself. Recipient name, Michael. So continue to the next step. So that's now sent me a test. Now you'll see it says the email was successfully sent. Now that campaign is now saved into the My Campaigns page, and the invoice is saved into the order history page. So I'll just quickly show you that by opening up a new tab. There's the campaign there. So you can actually continue editing here, this campaign. But we'll continue going through the process for this demo. Again, order history also, I'll open that in a new tab to show you. the invoice now is saved in the order history as well. So we're going to continue going through the process. Now with this, we're going to go into this in more detail in another video. This is the sending method and the email list formatting, but for purposes of this, I'm going to choose blast mode. Blast mode is best for any campaign that you need to send in one go, and you want to manually send it at a certain time and date. This way you can manually send it at a certain time on a day to ensure that you want your recipients to receive it at a certain time. If you select dates mode, you can select a scheduled mode, which can be sent all out on a certain date, but it will be sent at a specific time on that date that the system determines. So if you want to send it out at 3:30 p.m. on a weekday, blast mode is the best way to do it, so that you do it manually. Dates mode is also used for creating date of birth campaigns where you want recipients to receive their eCards on different dates according to their date of birth. So we'll select blast mode, continue to the next step. Here is where we're going to download the CSV template. So let's quickly do that. Always download our template, and then you need to copy your email list into that template so that it is formatted correctly for our system to capture the data. So I'm going to quickly just put some test data in that and upload it. So here we go. So I'll put Michael 1, Michael 2, and then email, I'll put Michael at eCards2go.com, and it's sales at eCards2go.com. Now, optional message. This optional message will override whatever text you've put into your eCard. So if you want your recipients to receive the eCard with the default text that you've designated in your eCard that you've designed, leave this blank. If you want certain recipients to receive different messages, then you can actually have a different message for every single recipient, and everyone will receive different messages in the actual eCard, animated eCard. So I'll just leave them blank for purposes of this. We're going to go through this in much more detail in another video later, but for purposes of this, I'll just save that and upload it into my campaign. So now let's select that. So here is the one that I just made. So let's select that, and we're going to continue to the next step. Here you'll see it gives you the top 10 or the first 10 recipients in your list, and you just need to check that these are correct. So I can see I've got a typo in there, but so if I wanted to, I could go back and change that. So, but I won't bother with this demo. But you can see it's got the name and email in correct columns. I haven't got any custom message. So let's continue to the next step. Next step is where you choose your credits. So say you get 15 credits free with a campaign. So say I only had 10 recipients, well, I wouldn't need any credits and I would just continue to the next step. But say I wanted to send this later on to 100 recipients, and remember, you can edit the campaign further later. You can change your email list before sending. It's not a problem if you don't have it completed at this step, but you can choose to select credits, and this will put it on the same invoice as your eCard. So say I wanted 100 credits, continue to next step. Here's the payment screen, so you can see here's my total. The payment screen it will allow you to save the order and pay later. That will save, then update the invoice in the order history and update the campaign. Or you can save the order and pay now. So if you were happy with this and you wanted to pay to activate the campaign now, you would click on Save Order and Pay Now. If you wanted to just save everything as you had created it and pay later, you would Save Order and Pay Later. So say I wanted to save order and pay now. Here's where you'll pay. You'll choose Secure Pay or PayPal to pay for your campaign. So let's choose Secure Pay, and here's where I'd pay. I'd enter my credit card details, continue, and it would end up processing my payment. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I can still abandon it at this stage. If I go to My Campaigns now, you'll see that my campaign is in there. Here's my campaign, and I can edit this further, and the order history will have my invoice in there, and you can see it's got my my eCard, and it's got my 100 credits and my 15 free credits. So if I look at the invoice, you can see it's got the eCard, free credits, and the 100 credits. So I could then pay for that at any point, say now or later on, and the same options there, Secure Pay or PayPal. Otherwise, you can not pay yet and just make sure everything is correct in your campaign first. You can edit your email here. You can see here's all the details I created for my email. So my email subject, my salutation, my sender email address, and my sender name. Here's my email message. You can still make changes here. You can, change any of the details here that you like, and you can save it, submit. And then if I go back into the email, you'll see that it will have changed with those changes that I just made. So back to my campaigns. Everything happens in my campaigns. So here are my campaigns. You can roll over each of these headings and it'll explain what each of the functions under those headings do. So spend some time here and learn how to use the system. It's very easy to use. Just read the instructions. Down here, the instructions are listed as well of what the functions in the table do. Here we can edit the eCard further. You can make all the same changes to your eCard that you made earlier on through the step-by-step process. Back to my campaigns. Here, the email list. You can edit your email list here. You can upload a new one. You can manually add more recipients. So you can totally edit the email list here. Let's go back to my campaigns. And that's it for this demo. We'll go through various things such as the editing email list section in much more detail in a separate video, and we'll go through the edit email and edit eCard in a separate video as well if you want to just rehash those.